Hey party people, I'm Pastor Leah Scholl from Wake Forest Baptist Church. So grateful you've taken time to be with me today. Our theme for worship today is Unraveled, seeking God when our plans fall apart. Have you ever pulled a yarn on a sweater and just kept pulling and pulling and pulling and ended up with a big chunk off of it? Or have you rolled out a ball of yarn or pulled held onto a piece and then accidentally dropped the other? Sometimes in life we feel like that, unraveled, when our plans or even our very lives don't go the way we hope that they will. We'll be talking and learning about how God is with us even when our plans fall apart. So be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I just returned from a month-long vacation, and during that time I spent a lot of time thinking and planning what this Sunday was going to be like. This is the Sunday we were supposed to be back worshiping in person. Worshiping together indoors for the first time in 18 months. I was planning for it to be a simplified worship. I was planning for it to be meaningful. I was looking forward to hymns. I was doing a godly play story. I was looking forward to preaching from a real pulpit instead of this infernal camera. I was looking forward to our laughter together and hearing your prayer concerns. I was just looking forward to being together. What I was most looking forward to, though, was looking in your faces and really knowing how you're doing. That's what our Sundays together do for me. Looking into your eyes is a way to figure out how you're doing, what you need, and how I can love you in this moment. That is what I miss most about worshiping together. And I know that I'm not alone in missing this worship together today. Early in the week, there were signs that our worship plans might unravel. The surge in COVID-19 cases in Forsyth County has some of us scrambling to put our masks back on, even though some of us never took them off. Policies on campus are shifting with the resurgence of COVID, and each time something new happens, it feels like we're building an airplane while we're already flying it in the sky. And as you know, late last week, I found out for sure that our plans and our hopes for in-person worship had unraveled. I know some of you are disappointed that we're only doing virtual worship today. And I know that there are some of you who are glad that you didn't need to make another decision in an already fraught decision-making time. This new resurgence, to many of us, feels like an unraveling of the work we've done to move out of the danger zone. And I know many of you are anxious that we'll end up back where we were over the winter, stuck at home with only our families, or just even some of us by ourselves. I know we've all experienced a bit of unraveling in our lives, but for most of us, I think the last 18 months seem like it's not just our dreams that have unraveled, but they've just been blown to bits. We've lost jobs, homes, friendships. Some of us have experienced illness, and some of us have lost loved ones. There is a great shift happening, and it is very painful. And worst of all, just when it seems that we might be coming out of this mess and even get back together at church, the Delta variant happens, and our hopes and our dreams are unraveled again. The Hebrew people in our text today understand what it feels like for life to unravel. This was a generation of folks who lived in Jerusalem where their spiritual life centered on the temple. and their daily lives were filled with family, jobs, and homes. They experienced laughter and love and pain and sorrow on the solid footing of knowing their surroundings, their context. The godly play Story of the Exile says it like this: the people of God in Jerusalem knew God was in their temple. They also thought it was the only place to pray to God. They thought the wall around the city would protect them. Then the Assyrians attacked them. They fought hard, and some even starved, and the Assyrians went away. But then the Babylonians came. They did not go away. Their king wanted Jerusalem for his own. They broke down the walls and burned the temple. They took many people away. Only a few were left in the land. The people of God were unraveled. Psalm 137 expresses their feelings during this time. By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept when we thought of Zion, our home so far away. On the branches of the willow trees we hung our harps and hid our hearts from the enemy. And the men that surrounded us made demands that we clap our hands and sing songs of joy from days gone by, songs of Zion, our home. Such cruel men taunted us, haunted our memories. Verse 4 says, how could we sing a song about the eternal in a land so foreign, while still tormented, broken-hearted, and homesick? I know that many of us have felt this way. Some from the beginning of the virus, others from the beginning of the massive political upheaval of the last 5 years. I mean, how many of us feel like we woke up in a new land after the election of 2016? And how many of us feel like the resistance to vaccines and the perpetuation of lies about the election and the insurrection and this virus is a whole new land? And I also know that some people were born into this land feeling like it was a foreign land, unwelcome, uncared for. The prophet Jeremiah, speaking for God, penned a letter to the Hebrew people just at that moment. The letter said, build houses, make homes for your families, because you are not coming back to Judah anytime soon. Plant gardens and eat the food you grow there. Marry and have children. Find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage so that they can have children. During these years of captivity, let your families grow and not die out. Pursue the peace and welfare of the city where I sent you into exile. Pray to me, the Eternal, for Babylon, because if it has peace, you will live in peace. When everything is unraveled, we must still pursue our lives. We must still provide for our families. We must still celebrate the passages of life like marriage and graduation and births. We must still nurture our marriages, play with our children, and take care of the infernal and eternal daily tasks that make our daily lives work. You did all of this and more over the last 18 months of captivity from COVID. You did it all through the last election and the last policymaker, and y'all, you've done it your whole lives. The passage says to seek the welfare of the city, and we know more and more what that means. It means, first of all, that we recognize how interrelated we all are. We need each other. I need you to wear your mask, to take the vaccine, to isolate when necessary, and you need me to do the same thing. But it also means precisely what we've done over the last 18 months, to seek out those who need a little extra help and support, and to provide it when we are able. And friends, don't let the disappointment of this particular moment of unraveling dishearten you. We've known for a while that we won't easily go back to so-called normal, whatever that was. We'll have a new normal, and it may just look like this for a while. You notice that God tells the people to pray while they are in Babylon. What God is saying there is, I'm still here. I can still hear your voices. You can't just pray to me at the temple. You can pray to me wherever you are. And all of it doesn't end with the admonition to plant themselves where they are and to do as much as they can to survive and thrive there. The text finishes with a promise from God that is as real today as it has ever been. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Eternal One, plans for peace, not evil, to give you a future and hope. For I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace, not evil, to give you a future and hope." And God tells us to never forget that. Never forget it. We'll be together soon, friends, and I'll get the chance to look at you in your face. We'll have opportunities to laugh together and to pray together and to care for one another in person. Not yet, but soon. I love you, and I love being your pastor.